Welcome, everyone. I'm Lorelei Drock, the host of Celebration of Consciousness. With me, I have my co-host, Catman. He is the director of Third Eye Salon and the podcast. We have Betty Guadagno, who is the host of Exploring the Extraordinary for IANS. And we have Loretta Taylor, who is the podcast host of Loretta Sharing. And I just want to give a shout out to our Mystical More, all the people who are our founding collaborators. We could not do this without all your behind the scenes. So we thank you very much for your energy and your love and support on this. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Betty to do our opening blessing.
Hi, family. My name's Betty. Clicking buttons in the background. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thanks, Lorelei, for making this space for all of us so beautiful. And I'm grateful that I was asked to be a part of it. And yeah, I just want to take a moment of silence so that we can sort of pay homage to all of the energy that went into this with spirit and all of the creative energy, and just take a moment to honor that with a couple of deep breaths. And I'd like to set intention and say a prayer to the technological angels that everything runs smoothly and according to plan here. And yeah, I just want to express some of my own personal gratitude for Lorelei creating this beautiful space for us, giving us an opportunity to come together as a community and celebrate creativity and spirit and action, because a lot of action went into today to be able to create such a space for us. And yeah, I'm so grateful for this. And I want to get us right into the fun of all of it. So I'm going to bring up our first presenter. And this is JClay.
Hello, hello.
JClay is a spiritual teacher and rap artist that makes music to heal even the most reluctant minds. His mission is to help people around the world find and keep peace always. He is one of the leaders of the spiritual hip hop movement, using music to expose the false beliefs that limit growth. JClay's album, I Am Nobody, I Am Someone, has been endorsed by industry and psychology professionals, music fans, and is being heralded as a key tool in healing the mind. JClay is going to share a bit of his journey and music with us today. And I'll just add a little personal note that JClay is one of my dearest spiritual friends, part of my soul family, and his music truly does have the power to heal perceptions. It's happened in my own life, and I've witnessed it in others as well. So welcome, JClay. Thanks for sharing with us today.
Thank you, Betty, for that warm welcome. Yeah, as you said, I am a rapper. I'm a teacher, spiritual teacher, and the song that I'm going to share with you is one of my most popular songs. It's called Let Go. And the idea about this song was, actually, I really want to thank the people that were in my life at that time. The people in my life, like I saw that they wanted to heal, but every chance they got, they relived their traumas, or if they would meet someone new, they would tell them their illnesses, like without asking. They would say, hey, I have this, or because I have this, I have to see the world this way. And I noticed, but that they really do want to heal, but they are accepting this and explaining it to the world, telling everybody, hey, this is me. This is the sick me that I want you to hold the vision for. And I wanted a way to get through all of that in a simple way that's not too pushy, but that they will accept it. Because, you know, it's hard to receive advice when you're telling somebody to just change your ways, but that's exactly what this song is. And it's helped a lot of people. It's helped a lot of my friends. It's helped myself too. It was even written in a way that you won't hear everything on first listen. It's so much in there. The more you listen, the more you hear. It's pretty cool. And it's pretty cool that it still helps me from time to time as well, even though I'm the writer, but I guess you could say I'm the channeler or something. So let me go ahead and share my audio, and I'm just going to jump right into it. Yeah.
Majestic trauma.
Why you holding on? You don't need that. They just feeding BS super strong. You don't need that. They telling you that you is on your own. You believe that? You get everything you ever want. You can see that, but you feel it grip, cause your grip tight. Now that grip is a fist. All you wanna do is fight, so your work don't work and your worth won't rise. You think you just about your money, but you want what it can't buy. You can never sit alone, cause them voices so live, but you always on your own, cause you push them all aside. At least that's what you see when you look through closed eyes, having a bad past contest like you're about to win a prize. Like, I had it worse. Nah, I had it worse. Nah, man, I had it worse. Let go. You only scared cause they told you you should be. You only there cause they told you they would be. Why don't you care what I told you you could be? Why do you care everywhere but where the good be? Your life is like what you know you're not gonna like, but you must like it cause you recite it every night like it's on mics. It's like you change to what you foster. It's like your brain is your imposter. It's like you glory in your story like your pain's a badge of honor. Let go. Why do you stay here? Let's go. Why do you play here? Let's grow. Why do you not do you instead dwell in the hell that you lived through? That's old. Remember, only the weak have enemies and the strong have inner peace. Only the weak have enemies and the strong have inner peace. Let go. 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 Hey, hey, what you holding on to? Guilt, pain, shame, man, that's what you don't do. Nah, hey, what you holding on for? Is pain what you wanna be known for? Man, let go. 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 Hey, thinking that you woke, but you still tired. Wanting God to take the wheel, but you still drive. With your half full glasses, are you still blind? Yeah, you look good, but do you feel fine? Hey, yeah, you look good, but do you feel mine? It's yours, nothing is forced. Making these judgments about life, who's your source? Feeling almighty, now you're like, ooh, Lord, I need a victory. But let me ask you, who are you without your history? Man, everything is, nothing was, created by, with, and for love. One more time. Everything is, nothing was, created by, with, and for love. Let go. Yeah, and that's let go. Thank you, thank you. I'm I'm starting to sweat because it's very high energy. I love it. One thing that I do want to clarify in the song, because I know sometimes people might take it different when I say, "Who are you without your history?" Like some people, you know, maybe leave like, "Yeah, we are our history, we are that." But I'm more so asking, if you had no history, if you were just you right now, who are you? Who are you without all that? Who are you without your identity? Who are you without your family's traditions, your race, your political affiliation, your religion? Like, who are you if you stripped all that away right now and started fresh? Like, who are you really? And that's the core of this message, getting to the root of that and just letting go of everything so that the truth will remain and that you can be within that truth. Yeah. Thank y'all. And yeah, appreciate it, Jason. Thank you, Linda. Yeah. And yeah, if anybody had any questions, let me know. You can check me out at JClay.org, JClay.org. It's a lot of songs on different subjects, but all related to healing and changing your perspective. And yeah, thank you, Loretta.
That was great. I enjoyed it.
That was so intense. So intense.
I was jamming. That's my favorite. Thank you. Thank you for playing that. That's
appreciate it. Appreciate it. And I will say
it doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't.
It does.
I will say I am strongly influenced by A Course in Miracles. It's helped me tremendously, and the foundation of a lot of my spiritual teachings are from that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hate to bring us on a downer, but I have to introduce this asshole. No, this man. Look, he's died so many times, but they keep sending him back because he's a handful. And they're like, not quite yet. Let us just wait. No, don't come back yet. Let Earth deal with him a little while longer. No, he's got a heart of gold. He is a man that is surrounded by gnomes and the wee folk and the just the mystical more, the magical more. That is the world that he lives in, and I've got to have the pleasure of talking to him again and again on Third Eye Salon, and he just is. He's a heart-centered person and only speaks from the heart, and he just acts as a conduit for the celestial realm to bring in a divine, deeper connection to yourself, to the magic that is around you, and to this position of surrender where spirit can truly touch who you are, touch your life, and transform your heart. So that's the guy that I was forced to introduce today, and please don't ever ask me to do it again. Love you, Rev Ned.
Love you. Thank you, Catman Extraordinary, with the sacred scarf. I love. And I want to thank Lorelei and this beautiful, beautiful group of galactic beings here for allowing Rev to be Rev. And before I share this particular mystical experience, I would like to share with you a story that came upon my lap just the other day. And it's the story of the Enchanted Stone by Elda the Rocker. And it prepares us for the mystical evening journey that I had in May of 2018, the Enchanted Stone. It all began on a wet day in May. Elda and Arta stood at the beginning of the forest near their homes. They were full of energy and their excitement levels were at their maximum point. They had decided to go on an exploring adventure in the dark forest, or as all the adults called it, the cursed forest. The children were forbidden of even getting close to the forest. None of them knew why. The adults came into such a decision, and even when they would ask them, their answer would be, only dreadful things can happen in the cursed forest. Do not go near it, children, or the ancient beast that links in the forest will get you. The children walked with a steady pace in the dense darkness of the night, their hoods over their heads, as they tried to protect themselves from the menacing rain, but with little effect. Alda started shivering from the numbness and the cold. Artus grabbed his younger sister's hand and led her through the forest until they came face to face with this enormous mountain. The mountain had a little crack in it, enough to fit one person in it down at the foothill. They stood shifting from one leg to another. At last, they both nodded to each other. They didn't come this far to stop. They were going to go on. No energies to turn back. Elda moved inside first. Since Artos was her older brother, he was responsible for her. Even if Elda disagreed that he had to babysit her all the time, she would complain that just because he was 2 years older than her, he needed not to act as if she was a baby. Artos followed Elda closely. They were walking for a good amount of time until they found themselves in a huge opening. The children looked around in awe. Never in their young lives had they encountered such breathtaking scenery. Just then, Artus felt an eerie sensation from the cave, something that made the hair stand on the back of his neck stand up. He abruptly turned around. "Who are you and what do you want?" he cried, trying to sound brave, but no answer was given. Artus grabbed his sister's arm and dragged her along with him, the torches illuminating strange shapes and forming creepy shadows on the cave walls. He dragged her in the opening. Something felt good there, but he couldn't say, stay away from it. Something inside his essence was drawing. Just stay close, he whispered to Elda. Together, they made their way inside this opening, and then all of a sudden, Arto stopped. He gasped, and Elda bumped into him. What? Did you find something? Just then, she laid her eyes on a black scaly beast. It looked like a dragon, his sharp fangs and claws shining from the light that their torches emitted. The dragon opened his eyes to reveal two blood-red eyes that were fixed on them. Smoke started to twirl around the dragon, and strong wind was coming in from unknown positions. As the smoke cleared, where the dragon lay, now stood an adult. But what amazed Elda the most was that he had the jet black hair and the same blood-red eyes that the dragon had. Who are you? Arto stammered. My name is Ormar. I'm the guardian of the enchanted stone, he said in this booming, beautiful voice. You have come a long way, young one, and I admire you for your courage. Are you the dragon, Mr. Omar? Elda asked. Yes, but in order to guide you through the cave and lead you to the enchanted stone, I had to acquire this form. You're the one that the adults refer to as the ancient beast, aren't you? Artos asked bravely. Indeed I am. I've been here in this cave for many centuries now and met with many travelers such as yourself, but none of them deemed worthy to possess the enchanted stone. So I sent them away. The travelers, agitated that I sent them away, started spreading rumors about me in the forest. Now please follow me. And he answered and started walking with the children. They walked through numerous cracks in the cave and finally came before an enormous door, but it opened to reveal an old dwarf. A malicious grin was plastered on his old wrinkly face. A purple stone, which the children guessed that was the enchanted stone, was in his hands. Thief, the dragon, now human, cried. The dwarf, once he saw the dragon, and the children started running in an effort to escape. Stop right there. Ormar looked very cross indeed. Unfortunately for the old dwarf, he came to a dead end. The dwarf's legs started shaking in fear. Please, show mercy, he said, begging to the dragon and the children for his life. Omar took the stone from his hands, gave it to the children. You children are the true bearers of the enchanted stone. As for you, Mr. Dwarf, you may go. I forgive you. Go and never steal again. The dwarf nodded and left. Omar turned to the children. Come and visit again soon. Elda and Artis, please remember, the forest is filled with magical creatures, fairies and pixies and elves. They will also be delighted to see you two. Now that the enchanted stone is in the right hands, they will do whatever you wish. Fog started to gather around the children. The last thing that they seemed to remember was Omar smiling. And then they woke up in Arto's bed, the enchanted stone in their hands. One question was lingering in their heads. How did Omar know their names without them telling that? The end. So the mystical experience of the Moor that I had with the story of the Emerald Stone has numerous connections to one another between my experience and the kids' experience. It's the month of May. It was raining. I had another person with me, and many of these experiences were so similar. Most times on this land that I'm getting ready to refer to, we would walk down what we call the spirit path after ceremony. So we're talking midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, what we call the Walnut Grove. And it was on the north side of the spirit trail. And there's energies would try to pull me in their way. Every time we would go there, they would try to pull me in like the beast in the dark forest. And my friends would pull me back the other way. It was interesting, this exchange of energies. And it was what I would eventually find out, it was love, what they were trying to get me to do something there on that land. So to some, that walnut grove is like that dark beast roaming in the cursed forest, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a place I would come to find the emerald stone that was given to me. So here's Rev's story of that sacred grove on that sacred night. I facilitated, gee whiz, many earth ceremonies for a long time, been involved in various indigenous ceremonies with elders and leaders for over 30 years. And Paula Montgomery wrote about what a ceremony is. Quote, ceremony is a conscious act of connecting to the vast web of life. We express gratitude for all the connections as we partner with all of our relations and move deep into communion, finding our common union with nature and consciousness, end of quote. A connecting premise for Rev is that we are the elements. We are so much water, and there's fire and energy and light and air in ourselves, and we are stuff of the stars and earth. These are natural connections we all have, connecting from within to beyond to all that is. This particular evening you're about to hear, we were not per se having a ceremony in the grove, which we've had many times before, but the higher ones, which I would discover are going to have a ceremony for Rev. This was May 17th, 2018, which is important. It was a Thursday. The moon was in Gemini, and harmony of thinking and feeling is important. But before I share this mystical evening that will touch you in some way, I need to let you know a foundation I've taught for a long time that stirs incredible energies up, that transform heart thoughts and pure love, bridging and intermeshing with transformed mind thoughts and pure love, opens doors, opens portals, gives you into higher connections and flow, a cosmic flow. It is like two magnificent beams of light merging and creating a turning, stirring waves of energy. And it's an incredible way to light it up. The land we were on is maintained by Rabbi Earth. We were out and about and came back to his home. It was dark, and Rabbi mentioned to me, let us jump into Muley, his side-by-side, and go back to the grove. It was a nudge, an invitation from Grandpa Elder and the grove itself. We did just that. And we stopped along the way to lay down tobacco, to give thanks and release pure love and appreciation to the land and the spirits and all that is. So from his home, we drove north, and then at the west gate, turned right, which is east onto the path. This is the path we call the spirit path. It goes back many acres and ends at what we call the bowl, where some ceremonies were once held long ago. It's a very sacred place. The grove itself is an 1/8 mile from where we turned east on the spirit path from the west gate. We arrived in the grove, and Rabbi drove close to the middle of the grove and parked not far from the fire pit. So the pond is to our south. The long spirit path is to our north. The east is where we see and sense the little ones, the hidden ones. And the west is where Grandpa Elder Spirit comes out to us and communicates with us. I know there's much more, but these are our usual higher connections we have at the ceremonies in the grove. As I always do, I got out into the rain and I laid down tobacco to the sky rivers, to the Creator, to Mama Earth and all of her children. Then I walked over to the west. There in this tree line is where Grandpa Elder is always there for us. And he comes forth, like I said, during ceremony. And I offered him the tobacco, and he accepted the tobacco. This was the key to the portal to allow to open all that was getting ready to transpire that night, to be initiated and to flow with the rhythms of the mystical more. The holy ones of this multidimensional place, the beings and critters and portals and Mama Earth and all her children appreciate pure love and gratitude. They, the higher entities and energies, are well aware of our energies and who we are within our essence. You know, over the years, you build trust and honor and a higher intimacy with them during ceremony. And it takes Rev Ned a while to catch up to these extraordinary higher beings, their ways. I always have been close to the turtle people energy, so I'm talking about slow to catch up in their ways. You see, in my humble experience, I've heard over and over through the years, I'm more spiritual than religious, but most of the time those words are drenched and wrapped in 3D energy, and that's okay, because that's where some beautiful souls are. But there's much more beyond what most think is spiritual in these so-called lower energies. These mystical energies of the light rain, meshing with the mystical energy of the grove, flowing with mystical energies of Rev Ned, will give you a vibrational sense of the mystic amour that transpired this sacred evening. The rain was magnificent and electrifying. As I was offering the tobacco to Grandpa's spirit elder, and as I said, he accepted, he started speaking to me in that broken brogue that many native elders speak in, and also in telepathic ways. They needed a type of healing, a balance, harmony, alignment, and all densities and levels of energy there and on all around the land, including the elements. Him and his people and the little ones, which are plenty there in the grove and down the spirit path and in the bowl, they needed us. I knew what he requested in its fullness better than I know now, because of his request was so crystal clear back then, and the cleansing rain had a lot to do with it. Something was about to happen to change the local cosmos and beyond, including Rev. He finished giving me the instructions of what he desired, and I knew what I needed to do. He then spoke in that elder authority broken bow. He said, 6 are part of sacred hoop. And I looked at him. You see, I was bit by a brown recluse several years ago, hospitalized. And then the chronic Lyme that was stored in my body for years came out. And it's caused, eye damage and ear damage. I'm not even supposed to be walking. And he said that, and I was like, something happened within me when he said that he was so aware. They were powerful words to me, very, very stirring, again, within my essence and my heart and my thoughts. Wow, the energies that was connected with his words was amazing. Next, Grandpa's spirit shared and used the names that go by in this vibration. It was just amazing. And here's what he said. He said, Uncle Dave dance Sundance. Rabbi Earth dance powwow. You dance free. He meant sky class. He continued in his broken bow. Next Thursday, we will have ceremony here. He said, Uncle Dave, bring Chanupa, which is the sacred pipe. So Rabbi Earth is the maintainer of the land. Uncle Dave has been a sun dancer for 30 plus years and a very, very close friend. So I honored Grandpa's spirit and his words and energy and went to the center of the grove to finish giving thanks to the north and to the east and to the south. I walked over to the east by a tall grass area and left tobacco for the little people. It is where we leave offerings during ceremony at the root of a tree that is above the ground to the hidden ones, the little ones. On my way back to the center of the grove, I heard, remove everything. And I asked, can I leave my ball cap on? I was wearing my glasses. It was raining, that mystical light rain. And yes, I heard, sacred humor is very important in the grove. I went back to Rabbi, who's still in the muley, and told him what I was requested to do. And he said, these energies are amazing. He was having his own experience. Rev gets back to the center of the grove with ball cap and my tobacco pouch in hand. And I'm looking north towards the spirit path. The high density energies of lighted up extravaganza is just about ready to begin. Grandpa's elders over there to the west looking over his people. All of a sudden, it was like a huge stadium system was switched on. 360 degrees all around me. And I'm at the center of like being on a stage with tiered seating. And there were thousands and thousands of orbs, all different sizes, all the way around me. There was this exchange of incredible energies. It seemed to last forever. Yet her pure love of higher density was embracing Rev. All of a sudden, I was taken out in a northerly direction. Remember, just a ball cap and tobacco in my hand. These energies of love and sacred joy, sacred kidding were moving and dancing. All of a sudden, I'm zipped back to the exact same place I left, and thousands of these orbs are starting to dim out. I have no idea how long I was gone, but it all was wrapped in pure love. Another spectacular high energy event mixing was about to happen right after this. Mama Earth started to speak to me, and she lit up the earth with colors and ways I've never seen, even after decades of earth ceremonies. Light it up, so she did. The only way I can try to describe it in 3D terms is those who are old enough. I had friends that would hang these beads back in the day. We called them hippie beads, from their door entrance, from the top to down, from the frame down to almost to the floor. These lights were very similar, but there's thousands upon thousands of these lights of different colors and sizes, yet they were all connected. It looked like a high energy grid of some kind. There in the grove, these lines ran north and south. And I saw this in high dimensional eyes. I looked north, and there in the spirit path were these same lines, but they were running east as far as I could see towards the sacred bowl. Mother's words were gentle and loving and impactful. How important and how critical this responsibility was that I was being asked to plan and activate. She told me this, and it's from my spiritual logbook from March 17th, 2018. Quote, I desire to be loved in intimate ways. End of quote. Not just to respect her and not just to honor her. These ways are right and good. But there is much more to be intimate with Mama Earth and her children. This was like giving me a sacred medicine bag for Rev that I would wear deep around my essence. She confirmed Grandpa Elder's words in a divine feminine way. She was requesting healing and balance and harmony along with all of her children. Remember, this area used to be wrapped in sacredness where ceremonies were held long ago and all was in oneness. The energies are so sacred in the ground there, on the ground, above the ground, under the ground, but they had been tainted. I didn't know what the sacred talk of Mama Earth to end. She made sure I noticed something before she phased out from Rev Ned. I noticed that these very high density lights went so far south and stopped at the middle of the fire pit in a straight line running from the west to the east. I did not understand this at first, but it would become very clear later. The sacred fire of this land had been put out by people who had no clue how sacred this land is, with the portals and all the higher density beings and energies. There was no land caregiver for a long, long time until Rabbi Earth moved and entered upon this land. The high density fire of energized vibration had been dimmed down immensely. I turned south towards the pond, and over the pond was this mystical glow that was breathtaking. Lighted up, Mama Earth did once again. It was amazing. Divine feminine energy. I was in total awe. Even after I had already experienced the grove in so many mystical ways and Mother lighting up, I walked towards this luminescent glow to become one with it. I saw two cute gnomes, cuter than Rev or even Catman, that were between two close trees together to the east of me. They were giggling in a circular way. They had their hands over their mouths at Rev, and they stayed long enough that I could see them in the dark, and they were lit up and glowing. It was amazing. As they scampered back into the brush, they told me, quote, "There's work to be done here," end of quote. In my essence, I was glowing at all these lights and luminescent glowing energies. It was like the higher energies of a higher cleansing for Rev to prepare me for readiness, of oneness, of intimacy with the entities and energies of the grove and the land beyond. I understood these lights as pure love, and also for a deep appreciation from them to Rev of what we were asked to do in this sacred oneness. I walked back to the center of the grove. I took one more panoramic view of the sacred directions. And I wasn't walking good, but somehow I started whirling around in circles, releasing tobacco, just grabbing it out of the pouch and just to give thanks. Then I walked back to Muling. Rabbi is so touched. He was looking south, like almost eyes focused towards the pond in that luminous light. And he saw thousands and thousands of higher density animal beings in that divine feminine glow. So beautiful, and 50 months later, the sights and sounds and senses of this mystical evening and all that I experienced are very fresh and very fond in my essence. We had a ceremony a week later, as Grandpa Elder requested, on Thursday, as Mama Earth requested, as the little ones requested. And it was just as mystical, but that's for another time, beautiful ones. It's interesting that this happened on that Thursday, Thor's Day, and our ceremony the next Thursday on Thor's Day. The wife of Thor, Sif, is part of the fertility goddess in Norse mythology, the wife of Thor. So the metaphor is Sif, it represents the soil of the earth. Thor from the sky rivers fertilizes the soil to produce the crops. I was meshing with the divine masculine, divine feminine energies in such a mystical way. It was like I was loaned Thor's hammer for this cleansing, this balancing, this harmonizing with higher energy integration. The hammer can summon the elements of wind and rain and thunder and lightning. It's able to open interdimensional portals. Beautiful ones. We are multi-dimensional beings that have cosmic connections within us and beyond us. We are here to light it up. These two Thursdays, Thor's evenings, prepared me in cosmic ways for my near-death experience 6.5 months later to understand more of why I am here. Here's a deep earth lesson that was reinforced to me from the grove that night. How different higher entities and energies desire to work with us here in 3D and beyond to accomplish major energy work that can bring healing and balance, integration and harmony to the entities and energies below the earth, on her and above her, a sacred oneness. They too are expanding. You know, I've cleansed land and Indian mounds and homes and sacred places for a very long time. I wrote this in my spiritual log for May 17th, 2018. Quote, "This evening was like we were in another dimension, life transforming. I will never be the same again. This was one of my divine purposes to be and do, to reconnect to the land, to the proper energy of its original land walkers." End of quote. For me to fulfill one of the reasons I came back here to work with the land and the entities and the energies, and that was confirmed on this first of Thor's evening, is phenomenal. It was the giving of the emerald stone to Rev Ned, this mystical evening that's in the medicine bag, again, that hangs around my essence each day. As I mentioned earlier, there's energies in here. I've cleansed land, mountains, homes, apartments, parks, but the interaction with this request was divine and cosmic wrapped and mystical more that I've never experienced. These energies not only prepared me for the near-death experience, that would take a few months later, these entities and energies on the first of Thor's evening prepared me for the deep mystical experiences of my life when I had a stroke in July of 2021. I'm still learning, having things confirmed through the 2 Thor's evenings. We have done ceremonies and gatherings back in the Grove since the 2 Thor evenings, and I feel like I'm home. I'm at oneness. Like I could just dissolve in with all those energies. These connections touch me every day of my life in beautiful ways, and they are some of the keys that allow more of the mystical experience to occur on a regular basis, daily basis. This mystical evening of the more that was wrapped in pure love expanded for me the gift of gratitude that nudges the portals open of sacred joy and tranquility that wrap me. For Rev, I was raised close to the woods. As a kid, we had our sacred tree where we would gather. As a teen, I had my own Walden pond where I experienced the divine feminine all the time. Again, amazing ones. I have worked with the elements for a long time, and they were key in both of these 2 Thor evenings. These are powerful connections for Rev that have opened, again, portals to bring pure love and light to others. Yepper, to light it up. So questions I've asked after this Thor's evening, but I will place the you and the we in it. Do they need us for this? Is this a type of cosmic love challenge to show us where we truly are within ourselves and in what ways we are connected to all that is? Does this impact the cosmos? Are we truly more connected than we can think that we can be to even the deepest 3D mind? Just how much are we flowing as a pure hollow bone, a sacred vessel, for these energies to merge with us, these beings of light? Their energies can flow with our energies, and our energies can flow with theirs. Is the cosmos really within us? Yes, we are mystical beings with eternal purposes, packed full of remarkable potential. There are still tags in us, talents and abilities, gifts within us that still need to be discovered and brought out and unwrapped. I'm thankful to be able to share this mystical evening of the Grove with you. What a delight. Thank you for helping Rev light this up, this sacred day that we're experiencing together, with all of your light surrounding me. Till we meet again.
Thank you so much, Rev, for that beautiful, beautiful share of your story. And from my own experiences, yes, healing the earth as we heal ourselves. Thank you. Now we're going to open it up to our spiritual fellowship. In this portion, what we do is we want to share how spirit moves through us in positive, loving ways. Perhaps through random acts of kindness we did or were done upon us, or how spirit moves synchronistically through our lives to bring about beautiful events. If you would like to share something that has moved through you, please use the reaction down below and raise your hand, and we will be happy to have you share how this spirit has moved and created something beautiful within you or your life's purpose. Betty?
Hi, I'll start us off. My name's Betty. I'm dialing in from Brooklyn, New York. I'll share a synchronicity story that really helped me get to where I am in my journey today. So my spiritual awakening happened in March of 2019. When my spiritual awakening took place, my life was vastly different than it is now. I was addicted to drugs. I was a sex worker. I was homeless. And after my spiritual experience, every cell in my body demanded to transform 180 degrees. And I found myself in a long-term rehab. And like I said, I was homeless. So throughout my recovery journey, which was also my integration process for my spiritual experience, I needed to start manifesting things so that I could, have a regular life. One of them was including a home. I didn't have a home to live in. And, I left treatment, I rented a room somewhere. I live in New York. So people have roommates like well into later in their life if they're not married or have families. And I just, kept setting intention to the universe. Like, I know I'm going to find my home. I'm going to find my own space. I know it. I know it. And I had sent out like a lot of housing applications while I was in treatment. I just prayed over the envelope, sent them on their way. So one of those housing applications came to fruition. And I received a letter in the mail saying that I had my own studio apartment waiting for me. And this is like the first time in my life that I'm ever going to have my own space. I'm totally thrilled. I can't believe that it's actually happening, but I didn't have any money saved to move anywhere. And I knew that if the universe provided me with the apartment, then they were going to provide me with a way to pay for it. And so I hadn't gotten a tax return in like 15 years because my life before spiritual awakening was in shambles. I was in student loan debt. So every year the government just takes my taxes, So this particular year, right after I got this letter in the mail saying I had an apartment waiting for me, I did my taxes and I needed $1,862 to move into the apartment. And my tax return was for $1,826. And for some reason, they gave it to me. This was the first time in 15 years that they actually gave me my tax return. And so the universe manifested nearly to the dollar. I think maybe I had a little bit of a dyslexic angel because 2 of the numbers were backwards, but I mean, like almost to the exact amount of the money that I needed to move in. And then we got a third stimulus check. And so I was able to fill it with furniture. And, this is a material thing, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that I need for my spiritual path, but I do need to have comfort in my life. I need to be able to carry out my mission in a comfortable space where I feel safe. And the universe provided me with this. And, the mindset that I was in before was like lack, loss, grief, darkness, fear. I never, ever could have conceived that the universe would actually gift me with things like this. So yeah, that's a little synchronicity story the universe provides. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you for that beautiful share. That, how spirit moves when it wants to move is magical. That's the only word I can use. Is there anybody else who has something they want to share before we? It's okay if you don't. I just always say that.
I'll go.
Okay, Jeff.
Going. Okay. What occurs to me is that what you offer is what happened when I was about 10 years old. That was when I had my spiritual awakening. At the time, I received a message. Now, at the time, I assumed it be from God, but now I think it was simply from a spiritual presence of some kind that I was told of why I was on this planet, of what I was here for, where I came from, what my purpose, what the premises of what the universe was about, of what the universe is, who's out there. I was told all these things in a vision when I was 10 years old. And from there, I just always understood everything about it. I would get my hands on a few books along the way that children usually don't read, like about the ancient pyramids and about the ancient ways and about spaceships from ancient planets and stuff like that, things that just usual not typical reading. And everything I read, I just understood. I didn't have any moments or any reactions to anything that I was reading or hearing of how did this happen or how is that possible. I just understood it. So I just found myself going into my later years where I understood because the people around me, family and friends, never said anything that suggested they could possibly understand what I was going through. So I just kept it to myself for years. And then there came a point where one of the things that happened in that awakening was that I was told that there would be a momentous, massive change in my life when I reached 37 years old. Now, keep in mind, I'm 10 years old at the time. So I was told when you hit 37 years old, you're going to have a big change in your life. So I met my wife. Who knew? So I remembered having heard that when I was 10 years old, when I met my wife. I was like, wow, it's about this? So that was the big change at that point, and it turned into well, long story short, at the time I was a guest speaker in a hypnosis seminar and talking about the auras and chakras in front of the room, and she was in the back of the room and heard everything I was saying and wanted to hear more. So I had the experience when I was in the back room with her, telling her more about the auras and chakras, that I saw a figure on her shoulder, and which made, keep in mind, I was somebody who, as far as I was concerned, anything regarding any guys, any channeling, anything, that was just ridiculous stuff. I didn't even consider any of that to be possibly real. It was just ridiculous stuff. So when I saw this, it completely challenged my beliefs when I saw this. I was like, this isn't possible. I said to her, I said, I'm seeing something on your shoulder, and I don't know if I should say anything about this to you because you're going to think I'm crazy. She's asked me to describe her. I described it. It was a figure literally lighted up, looking at me on her shoulder. And I described it. Said, that's my grandmother. I said, what? This completely challenged my beliefs. Everything I ever thought was challenged by this experience. And this figure remained on her shoulder while I'm standing there talking to her. And this figure, it was like the figure was urging me to keep talking and to get and for this to go forward. And I told her it was this happening. She's like, "Oh yeah, apparently it's what my grandmother wants." So that started a new chapter in my life where I could no longer have the premise at all that any of this wasn't real. It introduced me to the paranormal, to guides, to angels, to everything in that realm. I mean, it was just impossible for it not to be real and to not to be true. So I went from being someone who would never ever consider any of this to be worth listening to being someone who just knew it was true. And that was, and I, when you talk about spiritual transformative experience, I mean, I've never since then ever even considered doubting any of this because it's just had to be true. That anytime I've ever heard any stories along the way, I'm like, nah, then I would remember them like, oh, obviously it's true. So and then after she passed in 2018, I in survival mode, I deepened my experience of meditation, deepened my experience of contact with the spirit realms, of contact with the outer realms, everything. And I went from wonder of what's possible to this is what's possible. I mean, everything just, the synchronicity of it, everything just coalesced and came together. And I became someone in more recent times who just gets what the universe is, what it's about, who's out there, what's involved. I just know it. I've never had to figure it out, understand it, read it. I just know. So and then for a while I was like, well, okay, I don't know anyone that I can share any of this with. But then next thing, the universe opens up everybody. all these community groups just get opened up. Everybody's wanting to friend me. Everybody wants to find me on Facebook. Like they all open up all at the same time over a period of like 2 months. And at the time, I was like, "Are you kidding? How is this possible?"
Spirit has you on the move. Thank you for that beautiful share.
I just never even would have considered that this could happen to a Facebook group. But everything has. Is how it is.
That's awesome.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jeff. Does anybody else want to share before we move on? Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing those beautiful ways that Spirit has moved through you. I appreciate that. That was so profound when we actually open up to those energies. And on that note, we're going to do a little bit of a meditation to realign and open up here. I'm going to guide you through a chakra meditation. So if everybody just wants to relax, close your eyes. However you're comfortable in your breath ceremony, I like to take just a few deep breaths to center myself. Today is the full snow moon, and it is at its height at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to kind of guide and use some of that energy to help get our chakras flowing here today. So you just want to imagine that beautiful white light coming through our beings. We're going to first come through on our star chakra, our soul connection. Feel that connection to source and all that is to each other. Just feel it flow through you and spin clockwise through your star chakra. Feel that oneness, that love that guides us all to connect. Just imagine it spinning faster and faster through your star chakra. Feel it move through you, just kind of gently move and pick it up faster. That beautiful love and connective, intuitive connection to all that we are. And we're going to move that energy down to our crown chakra. That beautiful violet that I see like a crystal lotus above our heads, like a crown. Just sitting there. Feel that knowledge, that interconnective, that enlightened connection to our, and move that violet energy round and round, clockwise. Feel it spin faster. Visualize that energy like corkscrewing faster and faster through our chakra. Expand the top of our head to this beautiful crown. And we're going to move it, spiral it down to our third eye. That beautiful indigo light, move it through clockwise faster and faster, clearing out anything that does not belong or serve us. Where we get our clairvoyance, our intuitive nature, the insight, what I call that divine GPS that connects to all that is, that awareness, that awakening. Imagine that light just glowing like neon indigo, just swirling faster and faster. We're going to move it down that spiral into our throat chakra. Beautiful neon blue that lights it up. This is our creativity, our self-expression, where abundance comes from. Abundance is always ours. We're in the flow of love and surrender. Imagine moving faster and faster through the chakra. Clockwise, this beautiful blue. Moving faster and faster through us. Love right down to our heart. The beautiful pink that shines through the divine love, that unconditional expansion of our being. We bring balance, unity, compassion, kindness, that expansion within us that connects to all that we are, connects us to each other through that heart space as it bursts forth in energy through us. Imagine that pink light just swirling again in a clockwise movement, further and further out to expand it into our energy bodies. Just keep flowing that through and move it down to our solar plexus, the beautiful bright yellow like the sun, that sacred eternal ventral sun that is the God of power. This is where we get in our personal power, where we will the will that is holy within us to create, to manifest in this physical reality. Feel it move this bright, like sunlight through your chakra, faster and faster, clockwise down through, connecting us with our creativity and our source. We're going to move it down to our sacral chakra. This is the orange, this bright orange, that beautiful vitamin C orange, we call it, right? That fills us. This is where we form those relationships, our intimacy, the sensations, pleasure, and imagination. With imagination, we can create so much within that space. This is where we use our creative imagination to expand and form these things we want to experience. We're going to embrace that power and clear that chakra round and round, that orange light. Just move it clockwise. Connect with that intimacy of being, of all that we are, that loving relationship between the mirrors of ourselves. Then we're going to move it down to the root chakra, that beautiful, vibrant red, the flame of the phoenix, that rising up of our energy that connects us to the earth, the core, that molten energy that has formed into physical matter. This is our survival, our security, our trust, our grounding, our physical body. This is where we release those things where we were conditioned to believe, these belief systems that no longer serve us. You know, these interconnections with our family and those that formed our psyche. This is where we let go of those things. We find forgiveness. It's also where we have that incarnation wound, I call it, of coming from all that is into this itty bitty body, forgetting that we are still all of this, and all of us are one. We are this expansion. We're not just itty bitty story. When we find that awareness, we heal this chakra. We let it go, and we become one and see each other as a mirror to expand. Do we treat each other with that love, that compassion that we just moved through our chakra? We also need to give it to ourselves, our inner child, that being that didn't always get that nurturing. In this moment, I ask you to hold that inner child. Remember the beauty and the pureness that you came into this world with, and that unconditional love that was you. It is still there within you. Give it to yourself now. Hug that child. Remember how it liked to swing, skip, shout. Be free. Remember the awareness, that belief that we could be anything, that we were limitless. This is how we heal this connection, this chakra. It is really coming up for Mother Earth and us right now. So that's why I'm focusing so much here, because everything stems from the root. If you do not have good roots, the tree does not grow to its full potential. So let's release that now. Let's hold that inner child and that forgiveness for all the conditioning we may have had that told us we weren't limitless. Let it go. We are all beautiful beings. We are literally here to light it up, the grid that we are stepping into. This is our moment. Embrace it. Let that energy just feel and flow through that chakra, clockwise through you, down into that core, that earth essence that is our maker, our birthright. Connect it all so that we may flow out and through. We're going to move that energy back up and through that channel and expand it. Feel it. Let it flow. Be this open channel to the universe. I surrender to this flow. I am one with you. This is where we are. Sit in that energy a moment. Take those deep breaths to center that energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bring yourself back out and carry that energy with you. Be one within, be one with me. Thank you. At this time, we're going to open it up to set our intentions and take advantage of this wonderful energy that is flowing today with this new moon. This moon is where we embrace and electrify our spirit, unleash our passion. So with that, I would like to go around with each of you and have you, if you would like, and you can pass. I'm just going to go around on my screen for each of us to set our intention for the full moon, whether it be a positive healing aspect where we want to expand a thing, or what we're looking to manifest with this energy. Keisha, you're first on my screen. If you would like to share, you may pass at this time if you'd like.
My intention for this full moon would be to what I consider living on the edge, and that is to every day go, just do what I can to improve at least 1% from the day before, and keep pushing myself and keep learning and growing and connecting. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you. Linda, you're next on my screen if you want to set an intention.
My intention is to dig deeper into acceptance and love, and in all the ways that love shows up, and in all the ways I can show up in love.
Thank you. Beautiful. Sending you love. Okay. Laura or Laura? Okay. You're next.
Hi. I met Loretta a little over a week ago. And since then, it's like my spiritual path has just been opening in so many different directions. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. And I'm just, with the new moon energy, bringing in continued spiritual growth, and may it continue to expand exponentially, easily and effortlessly, with grace and ease. So that's my intention.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Lena, you're next on my screen if you'd like to share one.
Hi, thank you. What a beautiful space. Such gratitude for everyone coming together to create this energy. And my intention for this new moon is to be guided back to my own inner light and inner knowing, and to be that conduit to energy and love, to receive it first and to, spread it forward.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Rev Ned, do you have an intention you'd like to set?
Yes, I would. I've had our son, we almost lost him in December. He was in the hospital, and he's back in the hospital, and he had an episode, Lorelei, since we talked yesterday. And one of my best friends, we call him He Who Walks with Many Cuts. He's had like 36 different major surgeries, and he's got more to go. Industrial accident. His wife passed on from cancer. She was buried on Wednesday, and we had another friend that passed. And it's like I've been in this bathed in this energy. I've done funerals, you know, that officiated at funerals, there's like something that in Rev to help these people. Because when you get up in that round 70, you know, your friends are starting to go and cross over. And it's like something's coming up, and that's my intention with the moon. You know, I'm a sky watcher, hug the sky rivers every day. So that would be my intention, is to discern these energies to be used. Thank you.
Thank you, Rev. Prayers and love and healing out to them. Betty, you're next on my screen, hon.
Yeah, thank you for this space. Thank you for this. My intention for this full moon is to not allow the full moon to affect me the way that it does every month. Try to set my life on fire. So my intention for this full moon is that the next full moon, I will not set my life on fire. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, where I live with a bunch of gifted people, it gets so crazy here during a full moon. I just never know what's going to happen. I can totally relate with that one. Kat, you're next on my screen. Do you have something you want to say?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is my first time being in this group. I want to continue to release all that no longer serves and to live more in the present and to remember more of who I am and expand into that so that I can access more of my higher possibilities and potentials to be of service to the earth at this time with all of you. And also some of you in this group may know Sherry Wild, and she's been going through a really, really difficult time. And so she asks for people's prayers and blessings. So I'd like us to do that and send those to her as well for her highest good. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. That's beautiful. And we will do that, definitely. Loretta, you're next on my screen.
Hello, everyone. Lorelai, thank you for being inspired to do this. What I've noticed lately is just a lot of the light workers have been inspired to do things such as this and creating. And so my intention during this full moon is just to assist everyone in their creative paths, and that the energies will assist in everything, in our collective loving intention, that we may be able to manifest all that we're drawn to do. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your beautiful love and collaboration today. We appreciate you being here as well. Catman, you're next on my screen.
All right, thank you. Struggle bus with the unmute button. Thank you. Yeah, I'll say that, you know, Loretta, yeah, people are popping out now. Like I see people popping, and they're coming into their own, and there's a wave of resistance, and then they surrender. I mean, depending on the person, but there's just this, it's like big shift in energy. So I just want to celebrate that with everybody, that, you know, good things on the planet are happening. People are waking up, and this is a celebration of exactly that. Like we're coming into the alignment of who we truly are. So there's a lot to celebrate. So yeah, thank you for letting me be part of it, Lorelai. And on that note, like my intention is to really own all of my space and own all of my power, and to use the new moon for that, because it's just silly not to anymore. It's ridiculous not to. It's ridiculous to hide at this point. It's ridiculous to pretend that I'm something different than I am to make other people feel comfortable. Like, what? So I'm just really over it. And why, for God's green, like, how can I teach and lead and you know, be codependent? So, like, you know, and even codependent on my past, codependent on past patterns, codependent on old beliefs, you know, like just patterns that are no longer serving, that are blocking the full flow. So I put that in there for all of us. You know, if you want to hop in on that one, let's surf that one together, and just like anything that we have got against ourselves, let's just like incinerate it with love, so that we are flowing from the fullness of who we are, and we're no longer playing half-ass or hiding or any of that. Like, it's like, that's not fun anymore. We've done it. Tick the box. Let's radiate into our full dynamic space in every way that brings us love, life, laughter, and joy and community. You know, let's own it. Let's do it. So that's what I imbue for the full moon.
I'm doing the cheering section over here. Yes, yes, yes. Step into your authenticity, not who you're told to be. Absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you. Roger, you're next. Do you have an intention you'd like to set?
First and foremost, I would like to thank Lorelei and everyone for the opportunity to be here today. And my intention is to continue to be here for, well, holding space for the divine feminine as being divine masculine, you know, and to hold space for those who are just coming into themselves, who are finally going within to do that inner work to see their collective environment change, because in so doing, everyone else's will begin to change as well for the betterment of all. And that's why we're all here, is for the betterment of just not ourselves, but the work starts within first with ourselves. And then we see it manifest outside of ourselves. Then we can start assisting others who are going through the same process, as many of us here today are much further down the path than most who are waking up to their divine gifts, their spiritual powers, if you will, prowess even. But I'm here to hold space for anyone and everyone who are being authentic to and for themselves in order to be the change they wish to see and create, once again, for the betterment of all. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Beautiful, Roger. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go around. There's a few people with their camera off. I'll check if they're there. Debbie, you're next on my screen. Did you have something you wanted to share intention-wise? I think she's just listening. Okay. Jimmy, you're next on my screen. Do you have an intention you'd like to?
Debbie came off of mute.
Oh, she did?
I did. Sorry.
Oh, there you are.
Is this
Okay.
recorded, hon?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me just say that an intention to expand my understanding and my sight to include more than my eyes can see, to include more than my heart can contain. To embrace the whole within, not only me, but everything I see and everything I can't see. And to celebrate, as we're doing here, a willingness to embrace the whole for the betterment of each individual therein. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. It's beautiful. Thank you. Jimmy, we're back to you, hon. There you are.
I'm here. Thank you, Lorelei. I do want to thank everybody, including you, Lorelei, for organizing this, and then everybody for their wonderful shares today. It's been incredibly moving, and I've been very grateful to be here just holding space and sharing this moment with everybody. My intentions for this moon energy that is upon us. Well, I have to say that Catman probably called me out as much as I could call myself out, which I'm pretty good at doing that. I am in a place of incredible difficulty stepping into who I need to be. And, some of it's outside sources, which is no excuse because you have to learn how to navigate that. But it's also a lot of those internal doubts that we are ingrained with through our experiences in life and just trying to, weave and ebb and flow through all of those different challenges that come at us when we can look at the world around us and realize how important our energy is, even just walking into a room. I mean, even just having that confidence in knowing who we are to help elevate a simple social situation. I think we tend to forget. For me, I know sometimes I feel very lacking in the ability to really move mountains, so to speak, spiritually, because I don't have the confidence maybe in my tools or my teachings or any of those things yet. So my intention for myself is just to really take that deep breath and realize it's in everyday moments, it's in everyday situations, and it's every little thing that we do that connects us with spirit, and that does make a difference. So that's my intention for myself. Thanks, Lorelai.
You're welcome, and thank you, Jimmy. And I'm looking forward to Jimmy's going to be doing one of our healing sessions, coming up. So excited for that. So you are stepping into it, dear. Oh, and next on my screen is Jason. Are you here? Would you like to share something?
I am here. Yeah. My intent is to continue being bold, and honoring my true self, and I would like to call it embracing my crazy, with those that I encounter, right? Like not being afraid to share feelings or thoughts or messages, and being that person, right, in the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Yes, my kind of crazy. I love it. Kevin, you're next on my screen if you'd like to share something. Okay. We'll get back to Kevin if he decides to share. And Tammy, you're next. Is there something you would like to share?
Tammy may not be able to. I know
Oh,
sometimes she has audio problems, so she.
oh, okay. I just wanted to check. I wanted to leave opportunity. I didn't want to leave anyone out. You're always welcome. Okay. Now we're going to move on to what I call the loving energy share. This is where we all try to interconnect our energies like a grid and give love and energy and intention to all of the things we share today as a collective. We're going to take like 5 minutes just to send energy to that, just to center ourselves. I like to send it from my heart chakra, like a big beam, like a Care Bear. So however it looks like for you, please just send that out if you feel comfortable to connect with everyone and set that into the universe. So when we come as a collective with the same intentions, just like why we incarnated here to light it up, when we set those as a group, that amplifies it. So we're just going to send that loving energy out to each other for this expansion. And that is my intention for the full moon, by the way, is that connection, that community, that supporting each person, being that love that lifts them. That's the space I want to be in. I send this energy to the collective who are viewing this and to all of us within this space.
Lorelai, you're mute, sweet love.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I don't usually mute myself. So we're just going to bring that energy back into our own energy field. Take a deep breath. Center that in. And we honor all the intentions that were shared in the chat portion as well. They were seen. At this time, we're going to move on to what I call intuitive messages. Many of us in the mystical more have these gifts, and we would like to give any messages we receive for the collective, or if perhaps you get a direct message that you feel strongly to give to someone, please ask their permission first, and we will start off. And Kat, did you have anything yet? I noticed that you. Or
Yeah,
Kat,
I didn't mean to interrupt if Rev was gonna go first.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to go first, Rev, or am I being? I'll just go. I'll start talking. So this is actually, sorry, awkward. Hashtag awkward. This is for Betty, if you're open to it, or I can also talk to you post. You're good? Okay.
I'm open.
So what I saw was artwork being so important for you, and to capture the visions of what you get in your meditations and dreams, and to bring that in through your artwork. And on the left-hand side, that was like, there was a Medusa that came up on the left-hand side, and she's like a sister of darkness, but a sister of wisdom. She's like, I know what you've been through. Oh God. Sorry, empathically, I'm feeling her emotion for you. So it's very intense. She has a very deep emotional connection to you in terms of everything you've gone through. And so she shows up as an ally on your left-hand side, and she's like a protector sister. And she's like, we've got some stories to draw. Like, we're going to draw some shit. We're going to draw some stories together, you and me. So she just came through really strong, and I'm glad that, thank you for letting me share that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Kat.
Yeah.
Roger, did you have anything yet? I know you said you wanted to share something. You had a collective one, I believe.
Well, yeah, I do. And that one is for, well, all of a sudden my mind goes blank, right? The collective energy is the only constant in life is change. It's also the one thing that so many fight against. And I'm being moved to say, and I was moved to say this days ago, and I saved it for now. And, it might sound cliche, but it really isn't, that people really just need to jump into the river of change and flow with it instead of trying to swim up it, like a salmon. Because I've had to learn this throughout my lifetime. Not because I'm a control freak, but I do like to feel I have control over the immediate things in my personal life, right? My personal experience. That's not always the case. So we have to learn how to open up, let go, and jump into the flow. I'm a poet and I know it. I mean, so that's what I'm feeling moved to say today, because that's when we will be waking up to, I'm not going to say waking up. We're going to instinctively know who and what we are and why we came and why we're here now, right? Many of us have passed on, our fellow brothers and sisters, warriors in arms, and we're still here. We are the new guard, the old guard, passing the baton to the new guard. And we, no matter if we're incarnate or disincarnate, we will always hold space for those that come after us to continue what it is that we are doing here today and into the future. So with that, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for that message. Thank you for being the conduit I appreciate that. Very, very true. Is there anyone else here who has something intuitive that they would like to share? Ron?
Okay, am I off mute? Okay, so I'm being told to tell the collective that many of the people in the group right now have pertinent past lives that are surfacing. They're relevant to what you're doing in this life. And as these past lives begin to surface, we need to be open to these past lives and let them surface, and to be open to how they integrate and merge with the life that we're in, and the information that they give us that will help us to not only merge into our full selves, but will help us to merge into our purpose in this life, our mission. So that's my message.
Thank you. And thank you for being that channel. I appreciate that. Beautiful messages we're getting today. I love that. And I honestly was shown very similar, and, you know, and to be honest, it just actually happened to my loved one yesterday. They were kind of having one of these moments. And I said, this is how the collective's going to feel. You know, as these things surface, they're going to feel a little crazy, you know, and question, like, am I losing my mind? What is going on? And I said, because he's like, why are you guys freaking out? This happened. And we're like, this is our everyday. You know, but that's why I was told that we were like put here in those times and spaces, you know, why we started to have this awareness a little earlier, so we can guide those who are coming into this remembrance. And that's why I felt it was so important for this celebration of consciousness to put these energies out there, these awarenesses out there, so that people can see that other people are having these type of experiences and remembering and connecting to all that they are. And that awareness, what I call their soul cloud. So I just wanted to share that intuitively, that, you know, and just a second, these couple shared channels, that's exactly what I have been led to, in that understanding that we're really going to see that over the next few months intensely. These memories of different things pop up like just a quick snippet, almost like it's a dream or a bubble or a quick, it's almost like seeing one of those reels on TikTok, okay, let's say, or whatever, you know, it'll just like quick be there. This whole scene will play out and you'll be like, was that me? That felt like me. I felt that. Where is this coming from? Because it doesn't pertain to this life at all. Just remember in those moments to relax into them, and it will flow and show you more. You know, sometimes we close up and it doesn't, and it'll cut off that energy flow of what it's trying to show us. So if we can just have that trust to literally let go and surrender to that flow of energy that is trying to play out and show us these things. Usually I find when they're showing us these things, it is because something from that life we are still carrying through to work out energetically. And if we can see those parallels, it really helps to heal and bring that energy into co-creation in this timeline. Is there anyone else that has any messages? Linda, you have something you want to share for someone?
I do. I have been for a long time seeing light workers as points in the grid, and that grid being not just like lighthouses or points where people energetically are holding that space of love and light, but that grid together creating a net to catch the people who are afraid and forgetting or have forgotten that they're all connected. And I had this image of those old games where you put the lights in the pegboards. What are they called? But it was
Light Bright?
Yeah, Light Bright. And I've had that image for a while now. But what I was getting is the electricity is always there. The board is us on this planet. There are some that are still in the box that forgot that there's a way to connect to that. It's just a forgetting. And there are people who are creating this a beautiful light image this new vision that is because they're connecting into that electricity, that divineness that is within. And as we all light up, the image continues to emerge and see ourselves as that participation in that is expressing itself. And so shine bright. Go pick up a couple of pegs out of the box, see if they want to go onto the board or not. Tell them it's safe. Because a lot of things will be scary for them when that light does shine, because it's different now. It's like a different state of being. And so that's what I kept getting, was this image of we're all little light brights. That's it.
I love that. Thank you, Linda. I was seeing it totally as you were speaking. I could see, that whole play out. That is like a beautiful analogy. When Spirit gives me analogies, it's always movies. I'm a movie. That's so funny. Anyone else have anything they want to share before we?
Ron had his hand up there for a minute, and I don't know if that was on purpose or by accident.
Yeah, I know he shared once. Is there something else you got, Ron?
After I finished before, the additional message came through that this full moon that we are in right now is a very powerful portal to making the connections that we need to make across the entire timeline and across all of the various energies, that if we're trying to merge our energies, if we're trying to pull ourselves together, if we're trying to move our paths forward, I'm simply being told that this particular full moon is an extremely powerful portal that gives us extraordinary access to things that we might not actually have easy access to. So I'm simply being told this full moon is an extraordinary portal to help us to access things that otherwise may be a little more difficult to access. So that's it.
Beautiful. Yeah, they really wanted everything in alignment, like for today, and then it was the full moon, just was like, what? Yeah, so the alignment's beautiful for all the work we're trying to do. Debbie, you have something you want to share?
I do. And I'm not used to presenting myself in this type of way. But I feel very impressed to say something. That as we transition through this time, there are going to be dear brothers and sisters in this lifetime anyway. I don't believe in gender necessarily at all, but there are going to be those that, well, they finished their path here. And it might take forms that those who are left here aren't comfortable with. And what I want to say is that if we could hold space for the assurance that those that stay are here to complete or fulfill, I don't claim to know any timeline, but to fulfill a sense of something here. Whereas there may be that our loved ones and our dear ones, and that includes everyone, those known and unknown, that they simply have work to do in another place, in another form, in another fashion, in another dimension, in another. Yes, I hope you understand. I know you guys understand what I mean. But I don't know. I just felt impressed to share that, and because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to frighten, and I think those who are gaining that spiritual understanding, that ascension on the earlier side, I think that, or at least I feel it. I feel I hate to use the word responsibility, but a call to remain calm, remain peaceful, remain joyful, remain to give thanks and celebrate all life, however it presents itself, and know that there is no ending to life and existence. It just shifts and moves and flows and so forth. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that moving thing, Debbie. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else who has anything they want to share off their soul that they're being guided to intuitively? Okay.
I'll go there for a moment.
What's that, Jeff?
I'll go there for a moment.
Okay.
Just that to have our basic instinct be that what comes through to us, to have it be through our hearts and not through our minds.
Yes.
To recognize that in any contact with others, whether it be on this planet or elsewhere, that the most important part of the contact is through our hearts.
Thank you, Jeff. Beautiful. Yes. With love. Leave with love, not fear. Yes. Jason?
Okay. Not quite sure if I've got all this figured out, but I said I wanted to be bold, right? So they're like, be bold. My heart is fluttering. Okay. I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not sure if this is directed to someone that is here currently watching, or if they're going to be the conduit for someone else. But I very much feel like I have a younger female energy, like child, below double digits. There's also the reference to the name Molly. I don't know if Molly relates to the child or if that relates to someone that they're trying to connect with. There's also the name Becca or Becky that I wrote down. There's this message I wrote, big hugs. So I don't know if that's something that was said, like as we're, when they would embrace. But I have a couple of dates that I wrote down also. Oh, my heart is just fluttering.
That's okay.
Sorry, it's the energy. I wrote down the date of August 23rd. And also there's something around July 4th that has to connect also. So whether it makes sense to you, if you're watching, or if you know who this connects to, if it's not anyone here, but it makes sense to someone else, please be bold and share the message of big hugs, right? I really feel like it's connected to a lady. That's almost, I wrote down Molly granddaughter. So it feels like this is a granddaughter energy because she steps 2 below. If that makes sense, like the energy presents itself like above to the side below, but this is 2 below, and this is like child, like maybe even baby. But it is very, very young energy. There's also in connection. So this is all going to have to connect somehow. I think it's a cat. I don't think it's a dog. It feels like an orange tabby type cat. And I wrote down the name Samson. if that makes sense. So if it makes sense to you, great. If it doesn't, that's great also. So be bold, right? I had to take my own advice. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Jason. And I'm sure somebody will be very thankful to receive that. When we give from our heart space, it connects everywhere. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Is there anything else from anyone before?
I have to comment, if you don't mind, on Jason's orange cat that he's getting. And the name is close. I had one years ago. He was an orange tabby, and his name was actually Simba. And he and I had quite the connection. And he disappeared for a couple of weeks. This was many years ago, though. He disappeared for a couple of weeks, and we didn't know what happened to him. And one night he showed up on the porch, and he was injured, and his injuries were they were fatal, basically. And we nurtured him all night long, and we had to take him and put him down the next day, which was really rough on the family. But his spirit remains. But the one thing I want to mention here is I was with him when he passed on. He was scared. He was so scared. And I pet him, gave him any and all love that I had, and I stared right into his eyes as he passed on to let him know that he was not alone. And ever since then, I've had like a spirit cat following me around, right? Even today, I'll be sitting here at my computer desk, and I will feel the fur of him brush up against my legs under the table. My other fur companion, Tough Guy, who was Jack Russell Terrier in Chihuahua, he passed on in 2008, so he comes around a lot as well. But thank you very much for that, because it was like, oh my God, that's Simba coming through. So thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. We never really lose anyone. They just, if you see the orbs floating around you and they're really bright, then all of a sudden you feel, yeah, they're always around us. They're always around us. They're always here. They're always present. So I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. It's beautiful. Yeah. Oh. Is there anything else before? Anybody off your chest as far as intuitive? Okay. And I just want to remind everybody, we'll be meeting again on March 5th, same bat channel, same bat time. So we welcome and hope you'll join us then. And this will be going up today. So hopefully everyone will be able to share in this energy and the full moon intentions that we have as well. And we're going to close it out with a blessing from Rev Ned to move forward in our energy. You're welcome.
This has been quite amazing, everyone. Your gift and unwrapping the gifts in such a way. The sound vibrations of the ball are calling us to close for now. And the higher ones are here to inform us that we are to be thankful that we can gather in such beautiful and innovative ways. The sacred gathering is a gift to all to unwrap in some internal and eternal way. Yes, they say, we can wrap this gathering of each soul in pure love and light before we leave. The gate of gratitude has been opened in gentle and loving ways of the mystical more. One of the cosmic reasons this gathering is a gift is because you are a gift to the cosmos and to each and every one gathered here. They are remembering you and I, and each one of us are connected in so many ways, but yet you are a unique and one-of-a-kind being of the infinite more. They say you are here within for divine purposes, with divine purposes of high proportions. You're crammed full of personal and plentiful potentials. Can you feel the love? You have an eternal treasure chest filled with unlimited talents, abilities, and gifts to be unwrapped and utilize to light it up. Yes, yes. When you discover these gifts within yourself, you find the more of just who you really are. Oh, beautiful one, can you sense them? You have the gift of mind thought, the gift of heart thought. And when they are wrapped in pure love and they become interwoven together, your infinite energies expand in mystical ways, in amazing ways within you and beyond. They are reminding us to be thankful for the first thing you do when you arise after a thankful rest. You awake. Yes, you awake before you do anything. You awake. This awakeness is a remarkable reminder of how to journey through your day. No matter how winding the journey is, how many roadblocks come your way. Yes, they're difficult teachers. Yes, I'll tell them again. A most delightful way to move and be through the day, to be awake and aware of who we really are. Precious one, I hear. Wrap yourself in pure love each sacred day and be you. Everyone else is taken. The real you flows without pushing and shoving energies going on. Their energies are smiling and joyful for you and I. I feel their smiles. Do you feel their smiles towards you? Yes, you're a being of the more. And you've always been. The love I feel from them to you is quite amazing. You're made of the elements, of the stuff of the stars, which are wonderful grounding, but you are an incredible, eternal you. You are a cosmic gift that keeps enriching and refining and being. You are here, awake, to be a thermostat, to change the atmosphere of your inner essence so you can become more and more of the authentic you. And that you will move and dance within you and beyond. No, we're not here to be thermometers, just reflecting the atmosphere of the culture. No, they say you are much, 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 much more. Your essence is sacred and wrapped with unlimited possibilities. I hear, go ahead. Celebrate your consciousness. Celebrate this gathering of beings of the more who have gathered to celebrate our coming together to raise our consciousness. Rev Ned feels this to the higher ones and to each one of you gathered here. This day in the here and now, may each one of us depart in pure love and light. Remember, you're more than the earth. You're more than the solar system. You're more than the Milky Way. You're more than the more. You are more and more and more and more and more. Beautiful souls of the mystical more, light it up. Till we meet again in the oneness of celebrating the dance of consciousness.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you'll join us again soon. We'll see you on March 5th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and noon Eastern. Thank you again for your beautiful energies, your love, and I send you out into the world to light it up, as we say here at Celebration of Consciousness. Thank you, thank you, thank you.